Good morning, welcome back to the channel. This morning it's engine oil and filter change. I know there's been a lot of, if you watch the channel regularly, there's been a lot of maintenance and garage work recently, but it's this time of year. The machine was first registered and delivered to its first owner in June 2009. I bought it in May 2010, so MOTs, servicing, insurance all come up in June, and it is June now. So this is I did the air filter, the K&N air filter a few videos back. So this oil and filter change, I did the MOT last week. This oil and filter change is hopefully, fingers crossed, the last of the maintenance for this year, and get out and ride the damn thing after this. I've been out on it just done 5-6 miles or so, get the oil nice and warm, so that it will flow better, flow easier to come out, to drain out. Also, any particles that might be within the oil are now suspended in the oil, so it's time I stop waffling before this thing cools down. I've wasted me 4 or 6 mile journey, so we'll get on with it now. If I may just remind you, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd be very grateful. It's completely free of charge, so and you'll get notifications when I've got a new video out, should you so wish. So let's get on with it.
Now here we have what looks suspiciously like a piece of wood with aluminium on, which I've mounted my paddock stand on, which it is, a piece of wood with aluminium on. It's basically just to lift the back of the machine a bit higher, because the sump plug is at the front of the bike, and it'll just help it to drain a little bit better. Now, if you think this looks like a turkey tray, it is. Come Christmas, if you wait till Christmas Eve, you can get these things for about, I don't know, 50p each. But they make cracking, especially for a bike, because they're quite low and they hold enough to drain the oil into. So I've always got 2 or 3 of these lying around. Right, first thing to do, whip off the filler cap. It'll allow the oil to drain out just a bit better. It's got to come off anyway. Right, time to pull the sump plug out. Where are we? There we are. There it goes. We'll pull the turkey tray into place. You don't want it all over the garage floor. It's quite a long thread on this, so be careful, because it does come out with a pop. Here, get ready, nearly there. 1, 2, there it goes. Keep hold of the sump plug, or you only got to fish it out later. There we are. So we'll let that drain for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes now, and
Right, so the oil's all drained out now. Give the sump plug a clean. I always fit a new sump plug washer. They're only about, they're less than £1 each, but they don't think, modern machines don't send, well, my Triumph anyway, doesn't use the old-fashioned copper crush washers. They tend to use these aluminium washers. So whenever I'm near a Triumph dealership, I nip in, I'll put the part number up here and just get I've got a couple, I've got one for next year if I can remember where I'll put it. So yeah, I always fit a new washer. Right, so that's been draining now for about 20 minutes or so. You can see it's just the odd drip. I've moved the turkey tin full of oil out of the way, clean the drain plug, pop that back in. Now this one is, I used to just tighten it up, but There is a torque setting for it, which is 25 Newton meters, so I suppose we may as well use it. Although it did seem a bit tighter than when I come to undo it. So this is set to 25 Newton meters. There we go, 25 Newton meters. Click, click. Right, now we've come to the filter and the oil that I use. In the last few years, I've been using this Motul product. Point out again, I'm not sponsored by Motul or any other oil or any company, to be honest. I haven't got enough subscribers yet. Anyway, roll on the day when somebody rings up and says, or emails me and says, "Oh, Mr. Wood, we noticed you got over 1,000 subscribers. Would you like to try out these gloves or this oil or whatever?" Anyway, keep subscribing and we might get there. Right, so a 1040 semi-synthetic oil. When I bought the bike, I asked them, the first service was done by Triumph, the Triumph dealership I had it from, and they said they were using Silcoline, so I carried on using I think it's Silcoline Super 4 1040 semi-synthetic, and I used that for some years, and then I think it was during COVID, all of a sudden I couldn't get it. I couldn't get Silcoline Super 4, so this was an equivalent. Motul, it's a well-known brand. You see them at all the big bike meets and race tracks and whatever. So it's an equivalent oil. So I've swapped over to that, and I've just carried on using it. When did they change? When did they start selling oil in 4 litres instead of 5? Because most bikes take just under 4 litres. Anyway, that's beside the point, I suppose. And I use high flow filters. This is the HF204 for this 2009 SE model. I think it's the same for most Bonnevilles, but just check. So yeah, that's the filter. That's the oil. I'm hoping I got enough. One of the other good things about Motul, they were selling this. It's 4 litres, but I think it's 30 odd quid. They were selling it 4 litres plus a 1 litre tub, free of charge. For the same price as 4 litres, you got an extra one. So you did actually get 5 litres. But I used the 1 litre last year, and I've now got in here, not for topping up, for an oil change. It works out every 2 or 3 years. I don't have to buy any. And I'm hoping with what you've got left over from previous oil change, I'm hoping there's just over 3.5 litres in here. I'm hoping I haven't got to nip out and buy any more, but we'll see. I think it says in the manual for an oil and filter change, 3.6 litres, something like that. But we'll see. So anyway, let's get on with it. We'll do the filter now. Right, oil filters, and not over tightening them. That's now you can see I've got another foil baking tray, slightly smaller than the first one. So just pop this filter wrench on here, if I can get it in. There we go. Just slacken it off. There we go, just moving. Now simply unwind it by hand. This is another job where if you're not careful, spin it off. They're called spin on, spin off filters for a reason. There it goes into there. Let's get a piece of rag. Wipe my hands off. Oh dear, not the cleanest of jobs, is it? Right, we'll prime the filter now. Now, just check the number, make sure it's the same as the one on the box. Now, with this one, I always fill it up with oil first, because it's a vertical one. There's also a smear of grease on there. I put oil on as well, but because it's vertical, if it was horizontal or 45 degrees or whatever, you wouldn't be able to do this. But because it's upright on the machine, when you screw it on, it's not all going to tip out. So I just top it up with oil first. The paper element inside, or whatever it's made of, will absorb the oil slowly. It just helps on the initial startup. The filter's already full, or more or less full. So I just keep topping it up and let it absorb.
It's like a never-ending. I just wonder where it's all going. It's going through a hole in the table, and then I'll just smear a bit of oil around the sealing ring. There we go. Bit more oil in, some soaking in. There we go. Job done. Let's get it on the bike. Right, so I'll give that mounting face a nice wipe. There we go. We've already oiled and filled the filter, so let's just, you can't see a lot under here. There we go. So spin it up. Put that on there. Now what I do, and a lot of other people do now, is I used to do it just hand tight, but some people say it's not quite tight enough, so what I do now is put the filter wrench on. If I get it on the right way around, put the filter wrench on. I'm probably getting in the way of the camera here, but and just give it another maybe a quarter of a turn. There we go. There we go. So that's it. That's that done. Give it a wipe just in case. Give it a wipe so it's nice and dry, because when we fire this thing up, we're going to check for leaks under here. So never had one leak yet, but I suppose there's always a first time. So give it a good wipe. So we've got the sump plug back in, tightened up. We've got the filter back on. Now these are a pain. I use a little funnel. I sometimes use a little jug, but because I know that I've probably only just got enough oil, I'm going to just empty it in out of the so nice and gently. I'm going to keep an eye on the sight glass, but there's no need for that yet. Right, let's have a look at the sight glass. A bit of a wipe. No, nothing on there yet, so keep going. Another look at the sight glass. Let's get my other light. Yeah, it's right up just past the maximum mark. Well, that's fine, because what happens now is you give it a run, the oil circulates, and it will drop. Stone blind certain it will drop. It always has done in the past. So what I'll do now is put the filler plug back on and fire it up. So one filler plug. This is the obviously not the standard one. This is the, I mentioned this in one of my other videos, a Tech 5 parts one. So just nip that up and we'll fire it up and watch the sight glass go down. Right, we'll fire it up now and make sure the old oil light goes out, which I've got no reason to believe it won't. There we are, went straight out. So we'll leave that running for a couple of minutes now, and then we'll go back down and check the oil level. I think I'll open the garage door first. Right, so we've run it. Oil light went straight out. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I said I put the paddock stand on a couple of blocks of wood. Before I
fill the oil and obviously check the sight glass, I take it off that and just put it on a normal paddock stand now. These machines are extremely sensitive to lean. Let's just give that a wipe. If you haven't got the machine dead upright, that sight glass can go up and down like you wouldn't believe. So what I've done in the past, I've got a couple of hooks in the garage floor here and at either side of the garage, and I've put a couple of straps on the forks, or the handlebars if you like, and I've balanced the bike perfectly upright. I've used a spirit level and got that machine perfectly upright and checked the oil level and tops it up. I always like to keep it up towards the maximum mark. I've then put it on my paddock stand as it is now, and the oil level was exactly the same, so I know if it's on this paddock stand that oil level is going to be okay. Now we've run it and the oil level has virtually disappeared from the sight glass, so we need to put some more in. So here goes. I'm just hoping I've got enough. We left it to stand for I think 3 or 4 minutes. That's all the oil I've got. See if that brings it back up into the sight glass. No, looks like I'm gonna have to go and get some more oil. Oh well. So that will have taken over. I mean, there was 3.5. I think it was 3.5 litres in that tub, but I'll just let that settle a little bit. But basically, no, nothing much coming out of there now. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. So there we are. The just about 1/4 of a litre I needed just to bring it up. I've run it again. It's been standing now for I don't know 10 minutes. So the oil level is more or less bang on maximum, and that is just on my paddock stand. I think what I will do is I will put the straps on and stand it up perfectly level, and just to prove a point that it stays on the same level. Stand by. So there we are. As you can see, I've got the two tie down straps now on the floor. That one is, they're not pulling it down at all. There's the spirit level on the rack, which is mounted to the frame obviously, but the bike is it's just balancing now. It's just balancing now. I'll go around and we'll recheck the oil level. Move the light a little bit, and I think you can see, just make it out, it's bang on where it was on the paddock stand. So it is so sensitive. I'll put it, I reckon 1 degree either way it'll go. If it comes towards me, the oil level's too high. If it's a degree or two the other way, leaning away from me, it's too low. What a pain. But anyway, once it's right, and I know by putting it on the paddock stand it's the same condition as it's in now. So that's it, oil level done. So there we are, job done. It's not the most difficult job in the world, but you've got to be careful. You've got to remember you put the sump plug back in, obviously. Be very careful with topping up the oil. You don't want too much. As you can see from the putting the straps on and putting the paddock stand on at the spirit level, honestly 1 degree either way will put that level up or down. I like to keep it up towards the top mark. Anyway, as I say, that's done now, so hopefully that's all, fingers crossed, that's all the maintenance for this year out the way. MOT's done, all that, so we'll see you in the next one, whenever that will be, hopefully out riding it instead of messing with it. See you later, bye.